£350 million cut from the budget, 500,000 fewer cases funded. Tomorrow, the government will detail who'll lose out under plans to slash the £2 billion legal aid bill. Lawyers are warning thousands of people will be denied access to justice. And Channel 4 News has learned that efforts to make savings have already led to a huge backlog in legal aid applications. Here's our Home Affairs correspondent, Simon Israel.
Clinical negligence cases are one target for legal aid cuts. Suing a hospital or a doctor is expensive, but then so are the costs of their errors. The Green family have had to face such hurdles.
It was an ongoing daily fight, a daily struggle to try and get people to even admit that they were aware of Andrew, that they knew anything about him.
They did admit gross misconduct originally, but then we had to prove that the gross misconduct caused Andrew's neurological problems, which we all knew it did, but proving it's a different matter.
When Andrew was born at Grimsby Maternity Hospital in 1997, they knew something had gone wrong, but they had no money for that crucial first step, an expert's analysis.
Without legal aid, the cost to obtain the expert evidence that we needed to establish what happened and whether it was avoidable would have been, well, disproportionate. How could the family have afforded it?
So they couldn't afford even the initial challenge to a hospital that they were convinced had got things wrong.
Exactly. To establish whether there is a claim in damages for cerebral palsy, you probably need 4 or 5 experts involved in the case.
8 years later, and Andrew's future was financially secured. But without legal aid, the family admit they would have all struggled.
I won't be walking, I won't have the education do now, and I just can't imagine if we didn't have the money what situation we'd be in currently.
But challenging state negligence isn't the only area that will be hit. Annual savings of £350 million a year have to be found by 2015. But in this frantic drive for efficiencies in the criminal justice system, chaos looms, as this department is beginning to find out. Havering Magistrates Court in Essex houses the country's first unit designed to centralise the processing of legal aid applications in criminal cases. But it's resulted in chaos. IT problems and too few staff have led to a month's delay in dealing with standard legal aid applications. Channel 4 News has learned there is now a backlog of 4,200 cases. Judges have had to postpone trials as a result.
It's a crisis for everyone else who's involved, whose time is wasted, creates extra court hearings, progress is limited at court hearings, and ultimately it just creates other costs in other parts of the system.
Solicitors in London have written to ministers warning of what they describe as enormous consequences. They say they've had no response so far, but the court service say extra staff have been brought in and cases are being prioritised.